Thank you for being a Cat Academy student. This is Stephanie Kwame from the Cat Academy. One night I was flying along and I had been at an event of some sort, and I was looking up at the sky because it was so clear and beautiful and the stars just sparkled at me. Then I started noticing little cities and towns we were passing over, and they too reflected back and sparkled at me. And I thought, those cities are so beautiful. And thought a little bit about there's crime, there's bad things, there's good things down there as well. But from my vantage, they just looked all peaceful and beautiful. And then I was thinking that the electricity that we see reflecting back to us was invented and developed by humankind, and everything in there, the buildings, the products that are used to make buildings, everything about that city was created using the resources that we have on our planet. What creative human beings we are. Creativeness is born or inborn in all of us. We are born as creative individuals. And we also have a desire to express ourselves in the things that we create. Years ago, we interviewed some people that were professionals and asked them if what they liked in their childhood related to what they did as a profession. And we went to a landscape architect and asked him about that, and he is now changing environments where there has been graffiti and all kinds of bad things in areas. He is actually creating beautiful spaces that move, and you can hear good things, you can see good things. So he's a great landscape architect. And he started off his life in the sand pile. He loved to sandbox and would create in there day and night. They have to drag him in from it. So there is that was a direct correlation with what he ended up doing as a living. We talked to an architect, and he said as a child he hated to see two lights of the same color together on the Christmas tree. He said that bothered him, but he couldn't see why it didn't bother anybody else. And obviously he had that architectural eye. And as a child he also thought lasagna looked like a building to him. And so he was Italian, and you can see why, because he said the layers have to come together and it has to look good. So you've got all of those layers in a building that come together. Usually you can tell them from the construction drawings. We also interviewed someone from NASA, a space scientist, who said he loved to play with space toys and dream of outer space. And he is also dreaming of a shuttle from the North to the South Pole for the Earth, and he's thinking that we're overcrowded and someday we're going to have to leave and create something else. So the big thing, though, is that inborn or innate in every one of these was this talent and ability, and they had it as children, and they expressed themselves as an adult. So probably there's something that you really enjoyed doing when you were a child, and if it has something to do with design or being creative, then you are in the right place. Design is really all around us, and if you're sitting on a chair right now, that chair was designed by somebody. And there are great opportunities for you to go into architecture, engineering, become a scientist, and that's basically what the Cat Academy is about. We want to pique your interest, we want to get you motivated and have you move on in those fields. If you look at your hands, you will know that the future is basically in your hands. Right now, again, we don't have enough architects and engineers. We don't want to have to depend on scientists, other countries. So when you enter these programs, you entered them for some reason, so you probably have that talent and ability to continue on and to become those individuals that will change the world. And I believe in the youth of today. I believe they are wonderful. I see you as I walk down the halls at various schools all over the United States. One thing I wanted to talk about as well is so many students give up sometimes, and I think it's because they don't understand the learning style. There are so many different learning styles in in students, and one isn't necessarily better or worse than the other. It's just the way you learn. So you have people that learn quickly, and there'll be the people that finish the projects way before anybody else. But sometimes, quite frankly, they might forget what they learned. They learn things quickly and want to bounce on from thing to something else. And there are people too that learn a lot slower, maybe have a lot of repetition, but they remember it, and they'll remember it forever. And those students go on to do great things as well. So don't be hard on yourself if you're not like the person that finishes everything first. Just be happy doing what you can do the best you can. One thing I like to mention too is I just really hate it when people give up. You know, they get frustrated, they think they can't do something, and the prize goes to the person that doesn't give up. It's amazing to me where I can get someone that has a lot of skill and ability, and they decide that they can't do something, but maybe somebody that has none plods along, and then they become a superstar. So nobody really knows your skills and your ability and what's in your heart and what you want to do except yourself. Of course, everybody knows Michael Jordan, and what an amazing basketball player he was. If he had the ball just before the buzzer and it was tied up, chances are he'd make that basket. And that's what winners do. Something rises up within them, and they can do amazing feats. You look at Albert Einstein. He was basically the smartest man people feel that ever lived. He did the theory of relativity, but they don't talk a lot about how he couldn't give change in a grocery store and that he was speech delayed. And so if you've been diagnosed with some sort of a learning situation, so was Albert Einstein. So who doesn't know? I mean, why can't you be Albert Einstein, like him as well? An interesting person too is Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin didn't go to school after age 10, yet he is the one flying the kite and figuring out all about electricity. He developed the glasses. He was an inventor. He was a statesman. He was self-taught. He was amazing. So we appreciate your school having the CAD Academy. We appreciate the students going into the CAD Academy. And again, our hope and desire is that you find the skill and ability, the creativeness within you, and you go on and become the architects and engineers of our future generation and make a difference in this world. Thank you so much for listening.